This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Thursday, June 26, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. The Northeast Indiana Strategic Development Commission has awarded the first installment of a 3-year, $1 million grant to Huntington University that will launch an initiative to provide area high school students with opportunities for training in the film and media industry. Assistant Professor Matthew Webb says the Creating a Talent Pipeline initiative will offer students early entry college credit courses in film, television, and animation.
Some high schools have media programs. We find that those students who are showing up are really ahead of the curve, and we want to expand that kind of education to more high school students.
The grant will also help expand the university's School of the Arts Summer Academy. Phenix Corporation, a manufacturer and supplier of custom food packaging and packaging equipment based in the Warrick County town of Elberfeld, broke ground today on its new corporate headquarters and manufacturing facility. The company said it is investing up to $10 million in the new facility and adding 10 to 15 jobs. In a sign of how strongly demand for data centers has grown in recent years, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation yesterday approved tax incentives for 4 large-scale data center projects in Morgan, Marion, Hancock, and LaPorte counties. The companies seeking incentives were not named, but the projects represent a total of $3.8 billion in investment. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
Indiana has used nearly $500,000 in public funds to defend Attorney General Todd Rokita in multiple disciplinary investigations and formal ethics cases. IIB's Warrick County has more.
According to new records obtained by the Indiana Capital Chronicle, the state paid 4 law firms a combined $491,000 between 2022 and 2025 to represent Rokita in at least 6 separate matters before the Indiana Supreme Court Disciplinary Commission. Rokita describes those investigations as politically motivated and retaliatory. Only 2 of the investigations resulted in formal disciplinary charges. The highest payment, more than $240,000, went to Indianapolis-based Amin and Associates, which represents Rokita in the current ethics case still pending before the Disciplinary Commission. Indiana's transparency portal shows the legal firms have previously been contracted by Rokita's office and other state agencies to assist with separate litigation in legal matters. Indiana has in the past covered legal costs for public attorneys, judges, and prosecutors facing complaints that arise from actions taken in the course of their official duties, as long as those actions aren't criminal or personal in nature. But Democratic State Representative Ed Delaney, a longtime lawyer from Indianapolis, maintained that taxpayers, quote, shouldn't be footing the bill, saying it should be instead a campaign expense. Rokita, for his part, claims the taxpayer expense is the result of a politically charged and unaccountable disciplinary process. I'm Warrick County for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
GE Appliances announced a nearly $500 million project today that it says will create 800 new jobs and shift production of clothes washers from China to its massive manufacturing complex in Louisville, Kentucky. The $490 million investment positions the home appliances company to rank as the biggest U.S. manufacturer of washing machines. In all, production of more than 15 models of front-load washers will shift to the company's sprawling Louisville production complex known as Appliance Park. The company said the new manufacturing lines will open in 2027. On June 12th, the Indiana State Museum and Historic Sites surprised the small town of Metamora by announcing it would stop operating the Franklin County town's beloved Whitewater Canal State Historic Site. But on Wednesday, the museum said it is reconsidering its announcement in light of a pre-commitment notice by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation that the site is in line to receive funding that would help keep it open. Alan Stenger, president of the Franklin County Chamber of Commerce, said, however, that some residents are upset at the museum's quick change in messaging.
We have continued meetings with the state to make sure what their direction is. And I imagine we're going to have several meetings every week for the next couple months to make sure everything works to plan, and that we're hoping that they reverse decision to pull out this year and not wait till they've got everything in place to do the renovation work.
The museum said it would cost around $14 million to properly renovate the canal, and the $7 million grant from the Lilly Endowment would unlock a matching grant appropriated by the state legislature. Indianapolis Colts analyst Rick Venturi is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.